Welcome to a playoff edition of the Fantasy Football by Committee podcast. And if you're thinking, why am I hearing John's voice right now? Fantasy season's over. It's not over. You're pretty dumb. We still got daily fantasy. You can do playoff fantasy leagues. You can still win some money and, pick players and yell at them for not scoring touchdowns.
For not doing what you want to do.
Even if your team's out of the playoffs, unfortunately. Anyways, joined by Anthony again. And
as you should be, considering we're co-hosts.
Well, there's that one day. So this episode, I don't know, we're gonna do some ranting, some recapping of the season. Put another season into our bag holes and give you some daily fantasy tips, even if the pickings are kind of slim.
Oh yeah, the pickings are slim, but yeah, let's recap our first full season. I feel like we sort of made this like a milestone. We had like the 10 episode milestone. Remember? Like that was pretty big for us. And now this is like a full season.
You know what's good about it too? We did it on a 5-year, so all the milestones ahead, really easy.
Oh yeah,
we don't really have to do any math.
We'll never forget. We'll always know when it is.
If it was like 2013, you'd be like, 5 years. Like,
maybe 2018. Who knows? But yeah, no. So first full season in the books, and we'll just we'll do a little recapping, a couple awards we'll give out. So mainly just bullshit and daily fantasy, right?
I guess, yeah. If you want to go that way,
you want to how about we get the daily fantasy out of the way so we can get some bullshit?
Yeah, let's do that. All right. As always,
From now on. Not as always.
As always, if we just started from last week. It's for owntheplay.com. Really solid fantasy site.
Daily fantasy.
Daily fantasy. They have a lot of games. And I guess they're a bit smaller, so you have a better chance to win. There's not going to be any 200,000 people, but you still get a solid amount of people.
No, well, you can still win good money, but you don't get intimidated by going up against 300,000 people right now. So it's good.
Yep, you can strategize by playing maybe some sleepers that other people haven't picked because you can see the percentages,
real time percentage of ownership. That's what you want.
You got to protect the pool, as Mike Francesa would say.
God, I hate Mike Francesa.
I honestly I didn't hear it live, which is unfortunate. But him and a councilman from New York City, the councilman called in, and they went toe-to-toe, and it was the most immature argument ever.
Well, because Francesa is completely immature.
Wait a second.
He's a complete jackass.
I can't do good friend. I can't do any impressions good, not just Francesa. But they're just going back. It's yes it is, no it isn't, yes it is. It was like a Monty Python skit, basically.
What always pissed me off about Francesa is, because for a while, for some reason, I was listening to him, was that if someone called in and didn't feel the same way he felt, he berated you because he basically thought you were an idiot.
That's part of his charm.
Yeah, but if you called in and agreed with him, then he was like, well, yeah, obviously, and basically made you feel like a jackass for just calling in to agree with him. It's he's a complete piece of shit that should be off the air.
But you also, first off, he's been doing this for 30 years.
He shouldn't have been doing it for any years, because he's terrible.
But there are people who make good points, and then he'll not talk about it for a little bit, and then bring it up like he thought of it. It's hilarious.
He's an asshole.
What were we talking about anyways?
I have no idea.
Oh, protecting the pool. Protecting the pool. So, they're probably going to do the three-headed monster one too, I guess.
No, I didn't see it this week.
No, I guess it's
not enough teams.
Not enough teams, yeah.
But that's great. It's called whole card. You call it three-headed monster, but I understand what you're.
I think it was. I saw both. I think.
I don't know. I think it looked crazy. Anyway, that might have been the game.
Maybe, yeah.
But the whole card's a great feature when the full season is going on. I'm pretty sure. I don't even know if they have. I haven't checked it because they don't really do fantasy football. But they might do it for basketball.
That
would be pretty cool. But if they don't, football, when the regular season comes back around again, is you pick the top three. Basically, you pick a team.
And you get the top three scores
regardless.
On the team.
So, let's say you have the Saints and Cooks gets hurt, but then Sneak steps up. You're gonna get all his points instead because you get the top three scores, which is pretty cool. I like that.
But yeah, going back to daily fantasy, Pickens kind of slim. A lot of defenses, solid defenses, and also a couple hurt quarterbacks too, which never helps.
Well, I do like I think. I mean, we don't even really talk about it, but the Chiefs' defense, I think, is a pretty decent play this week versus Houston. You know.
Yeah,
I know they're in Houston.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it depends on what Hoyer does and like if they can shut down Hopkins. I mean, Blue had a decent game, but that was against the Jaguars. Like, you can't really put too much stock into that, I guess. But like, you got Cincy's real good defense, Chiefs real good defense, Seattle and Minnesota. I would not pick. I would try to find it tough to pick any player from that game because those two defenses are real solid. It's gonna be really cold in Minnesota.
I was actually saying, like, I think Minnesota did Green Bay a favor by winning the division.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that was stupid. I mean, I understand you want to win, you don't want to lose. Green Bay plays Washington. So, like, I understand.
But Minnesota was going to play at Green Bay if they lost?
Maybe.
It was something like
that.
Yeah,
it was a wacky thing. But, I mean, they helped Green Bay, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins, though.
No, I mean, Washington has been hot, obviously. But
and
I think
also Green Bay's offensive line is awful. And
they have a lot of problems. Yeah, they have a lot of problems.
And Aaron Rodgers is just running for his life at every play, it seems.
Yeah, which is actually weird because I actually have one of the players on Green Bay.
Yeah, so do I. But
like you said,
Pickens
are really slim.
I wasn't going to try and pick. Oh yeah, let's go Adrian Peterson. Obviously, like
that's actually a terrible pick. I think this week.
But I mean, like most weeks, like
you're not going to go like I'm going to pick Antonio Brown. You know, like I know what you're saying.
All right. Instead of just talking about the picks, let's actually make them. My QB is Alex Smith, 6,600 at Houston. I mean, what can you say about the Chiefs? They've just been rolling along. Alex Smith's been chucking and running touchdowns.
He gets you a lot of points. He can get you a lot of points on the ground.
And Houston's just you can't trust them in the playoffs. They're by far the worst team in the playoffs. So
you think so?
Maybe not by far, but like yeah,
they're close. I actually got AJ McCarron at home versus Steelers pass defense, which
that's true. It might be
not too great.
It might be a high scoring game.
So 6,200, like I said, he's actually he's shown the ability to throw touchdowns.
Yeah.
So with Green and Eifert back being healthy,
that's true.
I could see him 2 touchdowns, 200-something yards. Not terrible, like you said, in a small field where the number one, the highest most expensive quarterback was Ben Roethlisberger, which by the way hasn't been looking good on the road. I would actually go for the cheaper AJ McCarron. That's just me. Who you got for running back?
I got.
You don't seem too happy.
Eddie Lacy.
Now I know why you don't seem too happy.
Well, yeah, Eddie Lacy that ate. I don't know. Some other people and packed on some pounds and just kept. People call him fat, and he was like, I don't care. I'm just going to keep eating.
Did you see that Golden Corral does have like a $2.99 take-home box now? So now after you eat all you can eat,
but it's
you can take more home.
But it's
20 ounces.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah, it says 20. Jeff Foxworthy told me it was 20 ounces.
But like,
so you know Eddie Lacy is going to pack that thing to the rim.
I feel like 20 ounces is not that big though for like a solid container.
It looked pretty big in Jeff Foxworthy's hands.
Like I bet you like this mug's probably like what?
I mean, I feel like
this mug's probably like 12 ounces.
I don't know,
maybe 14.
I feel like there's a joke like you're a redneck when you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet and then you have to buy an extra container because you didn't eat all you could eat. Like I just feel like
if you go there for lunch, you're obviously like you can like take a biscuit, some mac and cheese, so you can make a mac and cheese grilled cheese for like dinner or late night snack.
I think you thought about that too much.
You've never made a mac and cheese grilled cheese?
No, I was just thinking about going to an all-you-can-eat buffet and then thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner, and after you've just shoved yourself full of ribs and all the shit that they sell there. Like, how could you even think about dinner?
I don't know. Probably pretty easy if there are a lot of foods there.
I've never been.
Maybe just take them for the car and you want some dessert. Get some like cobbler pie.
I've never been to a Golden Corral.
It's actually really good.
I don't know. I'm not saying the food isn't bad.
But to be fair, I went down in Georgia, so like it's probably pretty different.
What kind of people do you think you see there? There's got to be like the grossest people that go into that place. The most disgusting like vermin.
Well, the thing is though, we went after a frisbee tournament and we went with like another team. Ultimate frisbee, by the way. I don't know if people probably not. We won't do a fantasy ultimate frisbee, although we probably could.
I'm not.
But we were like all like sweaty and muddy, and since it was a tournament, it was like a spring break tournament down in Georgia. We all had like mohawks and like crazy haircuts, so we were by far the craziest people in there.
But like, how many rascals do you think are in there? You know, like the people who drive those like
Little Rascals? No, I know. I know.
They're all dead, I think. I'm not sure. They're probably all
Well,
dead.
the original was probably they're from like the 1930s.
But like, how many people do you think go in there like are driving those rascals? There's got to be like they probably have like a rascal parking lot.
There's
like,
probably a whole lot of like artificial insulin in there too.
Oh god, oh man, they probably had that shit on tap, just like almost like you just put your hand under the thing.
You go to like first you go to like the appetizer area, then you go to like the main place with like steak and like mac and cheese and all the biscuits, and then you get the insulin area, and then you got the dessert area.
That place is, oh man, that place is probably gross. Just imagine what the bathroom smells like. I mean, it's gotta be this.
That shit. People will probably blow that out.
Holy crap. I don't know. Would you ever work at a Golden Corral, like thinking that you might have to clean up the
I would never work at a food place.
Oh god. No, I wouldn't work at a food place, but Golden
I worked at a
Corral.
movie theater, and just like making popcorn and smelling like popcorn for like 3 days after, if you were the one popping it for like an hour and a half,
that
was enough for me. Although, like movie popcorn, we store that shit like for like a week before we bring it out. I don't know why.
Well, you worked at a smaller theater too. You worked at you didn't work at like an AMC.
No. It was a chain of two local ones.
Yeah.
But like that fresh popcorn, put a little salt on it and a little hot butter. Oh my god, nothing was better than it. Like it ruined movie popcorn for the rest of me because that's all I could eat.
That's hilarious.
All
right, so
back to Eddie Lacy. 5,100 at Washington. To be honest, the running backs really this week
it's
are
not
pretty rough.
Good, yeah. I mean, even like the big name, like because D'Angelo Williams is day to day. Who knows? Adrian Peterson has a bad matchup with Seattle. I mean,
they said for D'Angelo Williams though, no major damage. So like no breaks, no nothing.
But you never know. I mean,
he also was in a walking boot right after the game too.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you never know.
If he plays though, I would definitely look to play him. Like
he's probably got. I mean, he's got the best. He's got the best offense. So I mean, but he's going to get his touches, and he's also finds the end zone every game.
And he's a dual threat. He's always catching passes anyway. So
yeah, and I figure with Starks, fumbling recently,
Lacy I think is a good pick versus Washington.
I mean, Washington not the best. They have a decent run defense, but not as good as some of these other guys.
I got Spencer Ware. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people are going to take because of the low price point of 3,700.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like 70 when I was picking. That was just on like a smaller.
It's
league.
Earlier on in this.
But
in
so it'll even out eventually.
But look, he went like 16 for 76 for a touchdown. It looks like he sort of
kind of wrestled
gained away some more touches from Sharkandrick West, and the matchup's not terrible at Houston. I just feel like if they get in the goal, like if they get in close, he's going to get a lot of opportunities. So he could, definitely find the end zone. The only problem is he doesn't really get anything in the passing game. That's the one downfall of Ware. But for 3,700, that'll let you spend money on the bigger name receivers this week, which I think
receivers are definitely much better.
Yeah, it might be a better play to go higher on receiver.
Yeah, because there's a couple, and like Eddie Lacy at 5,100 was like one of the better running backs, and for my receiver, I got Pierre Garçon at 5,100.
I almost picked him too
for Green Bay, and he was like a middle one. So there's a lot more higher tiered receivers that you want to save on in other places to pick up.
Yeah,
but playing Green Bay versus home, Cousins is just he's got to be the most surprising player, right?
Cousins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like they said, like in the past, like since week 7,
he's had more 4 touchdown games than
No.
Rodgers.
He had like I know. I know.
Crazy stats.
I'm not just gonna vomit that stat up. It was one of like 27 touchdowns to like 3 interceptions. Like that's how like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like a crazy.
That's awesome.
Season, yeah.
Like think of like someone like Teddy Bridgewater who can't even throw like 20 in a season yet, and Cousins is like just ripping them apart. I mean, 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, I think, versus the Cowboys this past week, and then he got just sat down. Like if you could have played him in fantasy last week, this past week, it would have been fine. Ridiculous.
But Pierre Garçon, I think,
he's actually looked pretty good. I mean, he's in the past.
Besides Jordan Reed, he's their best target.
3 touchdowns in the past 3 weeks.
Nice.
So definitely, has that upside of touchdowns. And like you said, Green Bay is like...
They're on their last legs.
They're just not looking right. Who
Not
knows?
the
Maybe
year.
they switch it around, but I actually picked James Jones.
Mr. Hoodie himself?
Yeah, well, in the past 3 weeks, he's got a total of 15 receptions and no less and double-digit fantasy points in those 3 games. So, if there's a receiver on Green Bay that's been steady-ish, it looks like it's been him. So, and 6,100, not too high. Like, with that, I'd probably like to take, like, A.J. Green and maybe DeAndre Hopkins with him, Like, I think that would be a good trio of receivers to have. But, yeah, I think 6,100 for James Jones.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
And there's another sleeper, deep guy. You gotta monitor his status of the starting running back, see if he's healthy. But D'Angelo Williams, backup, probably up there with my favorite names of this year in fantasy, next to Barnage and what was the other one? Stoneberger or something like that.
Oh, I was like, oh man.
I think it was on the.
It was a tight end for Miami.
Oh man, yeah, it was like Jake Stoneberger or something like that. Anyways, Fitzgerald Toussaint, who could be a painter from early 1900s France, probably
like a Renaissance painter, right?
No, Renaissance is more like
that's like
1500s.
That's like Italy and right. Like,
well, I forget what the period in France, like the Moulin Rouge. What was it like that time era? What was it called?
The Moulin Rouge era?
Yeah, like Moulin Rouge was like 19 teens to like 1920s.
I don't know what that's called.
That's not the not the swinging 20s.
That's like the Prohibition era in America. I know what that is.
But I'm saying but in Europe it was like the.
Okay, it's America. Who cares about Europe?
I mean, a lot of people do. But Fitzgerald Toussaint, 3,600 at Cincy.
But the thing is, I don't think he'll be a sleeper
If Williams is out, I mean, maybe his price will go up too. But definitely something to keep an eye on.
I think prices are set in their ways once they're. So I mean, he's gonna be a good. You might take him just to go with. That's why the percentages are there though, so you know who's taking who.
Well, if Williams is out, he's not a bad play.
Not terrible. I agree. But like I said, you might have to pick him. Like when Gurley was really going crazy, you basically just played Gurley because you had to.
You had to because he was going nuts.
Because the price was so low and everyone else was playing him. You better just... You knew you were getting points.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So, we're done with the On the Play daily fantasy segment of...
/ Golden Corral, Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, that got weird. I can't believe you've never been in Golden Corral. It seems like...
Well, yeah, but there's none around here, right?
No, but you've driven down Florida a few times.
Yeah, but when I go down there, I like to hit the places that I normally...
Cracker Barrel?
I like Waffle House. Gotta love Waffle House.
Because Waffle House, you get, hey, we talk about crazy places. Waffle House is pretty crazy.
Yeah, but you don't go in there...
You get, two big biscuits and, sausages and,
But I don't order breakfast. I get there, it's like a steak melt on, Texas toast.
Oh, yeah, but it's $2.
But you get that where you get the hash browns, smothered and covered, which is perfect. I think it's smothered in cheese or covered in cheese and smothered in
I think I got onions and gravy there.
But anyway, it's that I like Waffle House. I like Cracker Barrel. That's another place where you find a bunch of gross people too. But their food ain't
Cracker
bad.
Barrel, that's the thing. It's only good in the South though.
But
if you go above the Mason-Dixon line, it's gonna be bad.
The Mason-Dixon line. And if we could find it, I like hitting Jack in the Box.
Never been Jack in the Box.
That's man. When I went down to Louisiana, it was Jack in the Box, man. It was the joint, 2 tacos for $1.
Nice.
They were good. But yeah, I mean, I'll try a Golden Corral if I ever see one. Or one of those CC's pizza joints. You ever see those?
Oh yeah, we used to do that a lot.
I never had one of those either.
Oh, there's one in off Route 1, probably 45 minutes south, 30 minutes south of here.
Yeah, I guess
in Mercer County.
There are Pizza Huts
right by Princeton.
There are Pizza Huts that have buffets too, which are pretty sweet.
The lunch special at Pizza Hut is fantastic.
The buffet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the lunch special. It's like $6.
Yeah, and they have all different pizzas. Even
and all the breadsticks.
The breadsticks, the salad, and then you got the dessert pizza, which is pretty solid. I mean,
CC's is like that, but they also have pretty not solid pasta, but like nice variety of pasta, and they also have really good also dessert pies and like a kind of like a crumbly thing with like frosting. It's really good.
And then the one night, actually, no, the Golden Corral had like a big like fondue thing, like people sticking their hands in gross fondue and shit, like chocolate fountain and stuff like that.
I think there's actually like people behind the food though, so you can't just like freaking like put your hand in like an animal. Like they kind of like supervise it.
Oh, well, they better supervise. They gotta supervise that kind of place.
That's
just gross. I don't know. I guess I'll try it one day.
Good thing we're recording this at like 11 o'clock. Otherwise, I'd probably go to like Chick-fil-A or like and just.
See, now Chick-fil-A. Now we're talking. That's a game changer right there.
All right. Well, enough with the hunger pangs.
All right. Yeah. So that's. We're just gonna now basically, do a little 2015 recap, give a couple awards, and just talk some bullshit. For the next, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes before we close this one off. Actually, a little early, and yeah, that's So it's basically bullshit from here on out. There's really no.
What do you? All right. Well, let's talk a little. I guess MVP.
You want? That's what you want to do. MVP.
Well, I mean, might as well do some awards. And then do
all right. Who do you think for the entire? Not just second half. Not just second half.
The entire thing.
The entire season. That's including. You should think about this one, including the playoffs, because some people who are solid.
Yeah, I didn't think of the playoffs.
So I'm just saying, I'm thinking off the top of my head. I just thought of that right now, thinking about it, because I'm looking at Tom Brady and sort of screw people in 16 and 17.
Well, can't recall exactly who did in the playoffs, but Cam Newton had a top 5 fantasy season of all time.
I think
for
he had
quarterbacks.
45 total touchdowns, something like that.
For quarterbacks, he was. I think it might have been 4th, just ridiculous season, and did it with Ted Ginn Jr.
Yeah, Ted Ginn,
and his barbecue sauce hands dropping balls all over the place.
Ted Ginn has ribs,
and also somehow Jericho Cotchery, who I don't know
how is he still playing football.
I have his jersey from his second or third year that I wear all the time. Great jersey. It's all the numbers are falling off basically. Though.
Of course,
but I'll go with Cam Newton for that one.
Just imagine when he gets Kelvin Benjamin back.
That's true,
right? MVP, it's tough because of the fact that you have to think of playoffs, but and I'm not going to pick Cam Newton because Cam Newton is too easy.
Thanks.
Well, no, it's the obvious choice. I'm actually...
Sometimes he earned it.
He did earn it.
It's not most... It's most valuable player. It's not not obvious valuable.
I want to say Palmer. Which is actually funny because they're both going for MVP. Basically, if I
mean,
he was just really. I know he hurt a couple people.
He was consistent,
but he was consistent. He was never getting you less than 14, 15 points.
Yeah.
He cap him. He would cap up at 25, 26. I don't know, just consistency. You always got it from him. So, I like Palmer.
Probably didn't have this award, but most consistent. There's one player in half PPR formats that had at least 10 points for all running backs, tight ends, and receivers for every game that he played in. Eric Decker.
Really?
The only player with double digits every game that he played.
You looked at every player?
I mean, I saw the stat somewhere. I
you didn't do all that research?
No.
No, he was solid. I mean, he was like a touchdown machine.
Yeah. Him and Marshall had 9 games where they each scored a touchdown. They were both pretty solid value picks. Cause everyone was before the season.
Well, everyone
was down. Fitzpatrick. What is he actually going to be?
Yeah, but a lot of people thought Geno Smith was going to be the quarterback, and so when people
same questions is he can he step up and they actually have a real offense maybe?
I would say Fitzgerald and Fitzpatrick never even had a season like this in his career. So even
not even close.
Even if you knew he was going to be the starter, you could have never expected this out of him. So yeah, they were great value picks, absolutely. Are they your best value? See how I segued that in? See that?
No, I didn't really think about that, to be honest.
See how I segued it in?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's pretty solid.
Who was your best value?
Down the stretch, not even down the stretch, but I think a lot of people wrote him off after he got hurt early on, but Jordan Reed.
Yeah, Jordan Reed.
I mean, he just
went nuts,
and not only that, for weeks 14, 15, 16, I think no less than 25 fantasy points.
That's crazy.
Like, he won people championships, and I think he was a value, not in drafts maybe, because not necessarily drafted in every league, but when you picked him up, like, after he got hurt, I mean, he just went off. I mean, helped me win my championship in one of my leagues.
Huh? That's good, I guess.
Do you have any value picks?
Not really.
No? I mean,
I didn't really think of that. I guess, I mean, you can still go Freeman, I guess.
Yeah, Devonta Freeman was still a value pick.
Brandon Marshall, actually, now that they keep going back to
that's what
Jets.
I was saying, yeah. I was going to say,
but Marshall, he was like in a lot of them at least, like, besides Ryan Ruppel, like,
well,
he was like a mid, like, what, 7th round pick maybe, like 6th round pick.
That's a good question to look that
He was a top 5 receiver.
Doug Martin.
Doug Martin's another one too.
He also could be a comeback player.
He could be.
But no, Doug Martin was a fantastic value pick. Oh man, I'm looking at the awards we have for halfway through the season. My least valuable player was Eddie Lacy. I would change that. I mean, they were definitely. I think I would make that Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
he had an off season after the first 6 weeks. I think the Packers just got way too injured.
Yeah, I feel like this is going from awards to just talking about shit players and crap that was going on.
Oh, that'll happen.
I'm actually going to look up some players. Screw the award. We're just going to. Yeah, I'm just going to shit on some players right now.
Go on.
Let's do some of that. Gotta find some players to shit on, actually. You know who really pissed me off? It was did I have this as tough players to own? Was frustrating to own? No, that was Jimmy Graham, actually. That was before he got hurt. Friggin' Jeremy Hill.
Yeah.
It's like every week you didn't play him was the week he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was a constant, pretty much just question that we kept asking ourselves.
Well, look, he has 2 touchdowns, so you play him the next week, no touchdowns, and 86 yards, that's it. Then you're like, fuck him, I'm not playing him anymore. 98 and a touchdown. And you're like, oh, you know what? He's coming back.
Nothing.
I'm gonna play him. 7 for 16. Go screw yourself. And then next week, he's like, oh, you know what? I'll put 2 touchdowns on the board. It's like, alright, no, good, I'll play him. No, 63 and no shit. And then the last week, 96, and it's like, it was every other week he was an asshole. Every other week he decided to be an asshole. Well, that's frustrating.
I mean, it wasn't just him being an asshole. They had a split committee, and
I know he's an asshole.
Well, they were never consistent carries between. What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at Jeremy Hill being an asshole.
It was just never consistent carries between them, and it was always a risky play. Pretty much, what we were talking about every week.
I mean, at some point in one of my leagues, I just stopped playing him, regardless of what was happening. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it to myself. I guess I shit on one player. What about David Johnson? How about friggin' nuts? And remember you were talking about him being a top 10 running back drafted next year?
Yeah.
The day after we were talking about that this last week, there was an article saying people were going to draft him top 3 running back.
See, the only thing is though, you don't know what Andre Ellington and Chris Johnson's probably not going to have that great of a year again. He hit a ridiculous.
Who
year.
knows if Chris Johnson?
Exactly.
If they're going to even want him back because of how you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean it's just.
But think about it. I mean, people are thinking what Le'Veon Bell, Adrian Peterson, Gurley, and Johnson. Top 4, maybe, I mean,
I guess you have to kind of put Doug Martin. I guess Doug Martin's the next tier down.
Doug Martin's definitely there again because of what he was able to do. Absolutely. A lot of people are talking Langford up with the Bears because
they said even Forte was he's probably going to be the guy going forward.
Yeah. So people were talking him up. Somehow C.J. Anderson was still in the mix.
I think if the Dolphins get the right coach. Lamar Miller.
Maybe, yeah.
Because, when they actually gave him the ball, he did good.
They just stopped giving him the ball when he does well.
Yeah, it was just... Even then, still, he was still really, really solid for most of the year.
And another one in the top tier, which hopefully, if he comes back well, is Jamal Charles. I mean, this is another big injury for him, so who knows? But that's going to be a risky pick for a lot of people, picking him. Now, would your top rookie, would it still be Gurley? Or would it be someone like David Johnson or even like a Thomas Rawls, who like?
I mean, would you
ridiculous.
go for a guy like a couple guys that started off real strong and kind of tapered off and like didn't live up to expectations to the end, like a Gurley or a Cooper, or guys that kind of came on later due to injuries and?
I mean, I sort of
burst onto the scene.
I sort of like the guys that help you. Like Gurley was good for the middle of the season, but like if you could make the playoffs and then you rely on them, then they burn you. It's like, whereas David Johnson, weeks 13 through 16 in this half point PPR league, 18, 14 and a half, 43, and then 18 and a half.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, like, and then even honestly, even early on in the season, no one was playing him really, but he had 12 and a half, 16 and a half, 13,
but
12.
Those are more just like quick strike ones where he just like broke one play.
Well, of course, but I mean, in the first 5 weeks of the season, he had like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, but then after that,
and then nothing. It was crap.
Yeah,
no,
and then
of course,
after that,
but
like he was still like such a high ranked running back, but people dropped him because he wasn't doing anything.
There was too many mouths to feed, and Chris Johnson became the number one. But I know I think I have to give it to David Johnson though, just for saving people's fantasy playoffs. If they were able to grab him. That's just me. Yeah, we talked about the out of nowhere player was Gary Barnidge. I mean, man,
I still think it's got to be like completely out of nowhere. It's got to be him.
Unless, no one knew who this guy was.
Yeah, because all the other guys I could think of were at least like in the league before, and like you actually knew who they were.
I mean, he's been in the league forever, but he's never did anything.
No, we actually looked up. He was like out of the league for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's right. He actually was. But I'm saying like he was in the league, but he's never done anything. Like,
I mean, you could put Tim Hightower if he did it for a few more games. You could put him up as a candidate, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean,
out of nowhere.
I'm trying to look like
maybe out of nowhere, Doug Baldwin too.
Yeah, exactly. You think like.
Because
do you think the offense is going to stall once Graham and Lynch go down, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we're just going to be a better offense because we just, like I said, I always make the joke, they shed all their dead weight of their best players. That's a good one actually. Baldwin was, but he was pretty good, and I think he hurt people last week or 2 weeks ago. That's actually a really good one. But yeah, I think Barnidge is still the number one.
Yeah.
Who the hell? No one knew who he was, and like you said, I remember when he scored he had that big game versus the Raiders. We were like, just the Raiders. He's terrible. Who is this clown?
We didn't know. We didn't say he's terrible. We're just like, we don't believe it.
Well, I know.
I remember exactly. Yeah, I remember saying that. We were saying like, oh, everyone burns the Raiders, and then like we were like, look at this clown Barnidge, who's no one's ever heard of him.
Yeah.
I think he caught the butt touchdown that week too.
Oh no, that was versus the Ravens.
Oh, that was against the Ravens.
That was funny.
Once he caught the butt touchdown, we should have known he was for real. I
mean, you got some strong cheeks.
I'm just saying that might be my fantasy. Anyone who does a butt touchdown, he's on my team.
Immediately. Looks like you're drafting him next year. All right, how about this? We'll do this.
What?
I posted this on online. I actually got one good response, but your New Year's fantasy football resolution for next year, for this coming season. Like, what do you want to? Like, what are you gonna?
I think not take a running back in the first round.
Like that's your
unless it's like even though like Le'Veon Bell out for a year, Jamal Charles out for a year, all top running backs, Forsett out for the year.
No, I know.
Like Marshawn Lynch did nothing. CJ Lynch did nothing.
Jeremy Hill,
fuck yourself. Nothing. Trying to think. Actually, I forget who I did. I think I did the league. My best team that still didn't make the playoffs, but I think I picked Antonio Brown first round.
If Big Ben didn't go out, he would have broke every record.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he was the first guy with 125 catches back to back seasons.
He had over 1,800 yards with like 3 games of shit.
Yeah,
because of Landry and Vic.
But I think unless it's like a top 2 guy, even then I might still be hesitant about it.
I mean,
I think you gotta go with like the top wide receivers.
In a PPR league, it's obviously Antonio Brown.
I think you gotta go top wide receivers now as first round picks because they get so many more looks now, and
it's crazy to think like what Odell Beckham broke the record for most receiving yards in his first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He has like 187 receptions in 2 years, or something like that. Like Julio Jones is ridiculous. Him and Julio and DeAndre getting targeted like 20 times a game. Even guys like Mike Evans are getting massive targets. You know, it's like it's so hard to take a running back. And in the league where I won, it's because I drafted. Demaryius Thomas had a down season, but he still did. It was still good. Yeah, so I picked him one. I think I was like 10th pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the wraparound, I was actually walking up to go put up DeMarco Murray's name.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? No. And I picked Odell Beckham Jr. instead.
Decent.
And that was like the big... If I didn't do that, I would have no chance that season.
But I like that too. Having a nice 1-2 punch at one position too.
Yeah.
Because, especially wide receiver. Because the top guys are usually going to go... you can count on them to go nuts a bunch of times during the season. But for the running backs, you can work the waiver wire for them easier than getting a top receiver.
Yeah, I feel like every year there's always, like you said, there's always these injuries to running backs, or just someone comes out of nowhere, and if
so you don't have to get a top running back, you get running back depth. That's what you need.
Yeah, but that's basically what I did. Is I'm trying to I have the
in our league you stash like 8 backup running backs and
that helped me, but that helped me actually almost make the playoffs doing all that. My number 1 running backs in this league, I actually went Demaryius Thomas, Odell Beckham, then I went Lamar Miller, Carlos Hyde, Amari Cooper, Yeldon, and then I got John Brown. So I actually had a pretty solid core of receivers in John Brown, Beckham, and Cooper, and Demaryius. Like you said, I was so solid at one position that I was actually able to make moves to get rid of some players,
and they cover up other not as good parts.
But then I also was able to bring back running back. I actually got Arian Foster in a trade before he got hurt, but I was able to make moves because I was so deep at receiver and I was good at receiver.
And what do you have the other guy's resolution or the other person's resolution there?
I could find that in a second. My resolution.
Yeah, well, you can talk about yours in the meantime.
Well, my resolution was not to tinker with my lineups all the damn time, because every time I overthink and I just keep changing back and forth, I always make the wrong decision. So I'm just gonna be very careful with it. It's
I'm trying to think how much tinkering I actually do.
I do so much.
I think I do I set my lineup usually Saturday or whatever, or I guess Thursday afternoon. Let it sit for a while if there are any Thursday games. Do it Saturday again, and then do a Sunday at 11:30, 12 o'clock. One last tinker, one last tinker stinker, one last.
I just can't help myself.
Look at it and then check it 10 minutes before if there's any injuries or whatever.
I always just stare at it for an hour, and then I just end up making the wrong decision.
Well, that's a little silly.
The guy at DRK Bishop was he actually agreed with me on what I was saying. Basically, he was explaining how he made a bad decision to take out New England's defense and put in Pittsburgh on week 16, and he ended up losing by 4 in the championship because of that. So, feels the pain. I understand, and
well,
I feel bad.
New year, new me, as they say.
No, I'm the same old asshole who's making the same old bad decisions. So how about this?
Yes.
What was your worst decision in fantasy football in 2015?
My worst decision. In one league, I think in week 3 or something, I dropped Crabtree.
Oh, that's right. And your dad picked him up.
I actually dropped Crabtree in 2 leagues then.
Oh, shit.
But it was
double crab.
Because we were talking about, I think he had one good week and we were talking about it. Or maybe it was week 4 or 5, and he had a couple down weeks where I was like, it's not working. Let's switch it out. And I was like, same old Crabtree, whatever. And then no. So, and then also probably drafting C.J. Anderson in the first round in one of my leagues too.
No, man, C.J. burnt so many people.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
I mean, I think of like hard to really pick one, but one of them is definitely drafting Jeremy Hill first round. And it's funny because the reason why I drafted Jeremy Hill is because the week before I had my other draft, and I went to Marius Thomas, Odell Beckham. So this year, this draft, I was right around the same position.
You like
and I had
running backs.
I had an opportunity to get Demarius again, and I was like, do I really want to put all my chips in one basket? And I was like, no, let me just do Jeremy Hill. And then I ended up getting Beckham on the wraparound, so I ended up going half. But it bit me in the ass.
I kind of like the putting all your eggs in like one basket because you can like just sit and root for a couple people.
Yeah, but if you make a bad decision, you burn. What if I went Jeremy Hill in both leagues?
Well, then obviously don't do running backs.
I wouldn't be here right now.
Running backs in both leagues is risky because they get injured so much.
I'm just saying, like
I understand, but instead of like trying to think, all right, I need this guy to score, but not too much because I need this guy to score.
I know,
like trying to figure out like Zach Galifianakis like doing the math in Vegas and everything.
But it's really hard to draft the same because you're not always going to end up.
I'm not saying the same, but and not go out of your way. Like, okay,
no,
this guy,
that's true.
But if you have the so I should don't be like, okay, I drafted this guy, so I'm not gonna pick him.
Yeah,
no matter
no,
what.
You're right. You're right. I shouldn't have.
I wasn't saying
don't go. I know. I understand. Don't go out of my way to forcibly do something different just because. I was an idiot. I mean, it was a bad choice, and probably, not grabbing Carson Palmer in the league I really wanted him in. So I ended up touting Bradford too much because I really believed in him, and that hurt me because he ended up being my only quarterback in this league, and then I kept having to just stream quarterbacks because he sucked balls. So I was really hurt every week just trying to find a quarterback to play.
Bradford's weird because Jordan Matthews had a pretty solid season actually.
If you look at the meat of that season, it was awful.
But
the beginning was alright, and then the end was okay.
Zach Ertz was kind of the same.
He came on at the end too, man. He's going to be solid.
I bet you if the Eagles keep Bradford one more year, I just think they got to run the ball. Obviously, they relied way too much on Bradford.
Well, they saw what they did when they could sort of have a balanced offense. Yeah, they could put up 35. Yeah, and that was the Giants. I know it's the Giants, but still. So, what was your best decision? We'll do that.
Best decision.
And then we'll finish up with some
probably
some Super Bowl picks.
In Super Deep League, picking Devonta Freeman as my third running back in like the 12th round.
Solid. That's so solid.
What was it? I mean, I enjoy in our league. I really, really enjoyed Todd Gurley, getting him in the 6th round. I forget who my receiver. I really liked my receivers in our league too, but let's go with that one.
Yeah, fine.
Well, I'm probably gonna say something in about 10 seconds. So you.
My best was in the league I ended up winning in. Mm-hmm. I waited and waited and waited for a quarterback. And in round 11, I got who I wanted. As everyone else was picking shitty quarterbacks, I grabbed Carson Palmer.
Nice.
So I had faith. I had faith in him. Although someone did pick Cam Newton in round 10. That's a solid pick. But Bradford went in 9. Eagle-Eye went in 9. Brady went in 8, but that was before everyone knew what was going on. That guy lucked out too. Stafford went in 7. Ryan went in the 7th. I just had faith in Palmer, and he did it for me.
I should thought of another one. Another waiver pickup for running back is Deion Lewis. I got him in all 3 of my leagues.
I had him too. He was so good until he got hurt.
Actually, no, I had him in 2 of my leagues. One was not.
He was so good.
And in both leagues, I had him and Forsett, and they both went down in a week of each other, and I was just I'm done.
The luckiest break I caught, actually, and it looked bad, and people were making fun of me at the time, was the week before Arian Foster got hurt, I traded for him. Mm-hmm. And I traded away Lamar Miller and Amari Cooper.
Ooh.
Now, I did that because I wanted a strong running back, and I had wide receiver depth. I really wanted a strong, and Lamar Miller wasn't doing too much. But it ended up saving me because of the fact that I feel like I would have kept pushing Amari Cooper, and then it would have just burned me because of how shitty he was down the stretch.
Yeah.
So that ended up, I think, saving me, and I think it was actually a lucky. And like I said, I ended up winning the league, so I was.
Say that a few more times.
I'm gonna keep saying how much I won the league after I lost. Even after I lost the semifinals matchup, and then Denard Robinson.
Talk about lucky breaks.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the biggest lucky break.
Yeah.
Well, not really lucky because of the fact that those 2 points were earned, and they just didn't give them to me until Christmas. They wanted to make it a Christmas present.
Whatever intern was keeping updating scores over the holidays was probably fired.
Oh yeah, he was definitely fired. So besides that, you have any Super Bowl picks? We'll finish off with some because we're not going to be back until after the playoffs. I don't think. Right? I think
There's no more daily fantasy.
You want to do daily fantasy each week?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But
that's how we feel.
But we're not going to talk about Super Bowl with that. We'll just do daily fantasy and take care of business.
Or maybe just do it on Twitter a lot.
We'll see what the deal is. I don't know how we feel. This is a lot of stuff. Make your picks for the Super Bowl 50. Or you can pick who wins. You can just pick who makes there. Whatever you. I'm gonna pick the winner too.
Why do you gotta do this in front? I'm gonna do.
You don't want to pick the Patriots.
Well, no. I'm gonna say Chiefs versus. I guess Chiefs versus Cardinals. Yeah, I'll go Chiefs versus Cardinals.
Chiefs versus Cardinals. I'm actually I think Denver.
Really?
Yeah, I think Denver. I don't know why. I mean,
that's fine.
Field,
It's just like
love the defense.
Yeah.
I know Patriots are a tough man. I do actually like the Chiefs to get pick. I do like that pick. The way they're playing.
Like Andy Reid's like not being Andy Reid. Like he's being like really good Andy Reid.
But all it takes is one bad Andy Reid.
No, yeah, I know.
You know,
and he usually shines in the conference championship games.
That's true. I'm gonna take Denver, and I think I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Seattle.
Honestly,
I can see them.
Yeah, I can see them.
The way they're coming on, and then it'll be the rematch. And then I think Denver's defense because this last time Denver didn't have the defense.
Yeah, Denver's defense.
And I think this year the defense is going to come up bad. I'm going to take Denver to win.
Denver defense actually got me like a bunch of wins
early on,
early on to like the middle of the season when they were like scoring like 20 points a game. You got to zipper that now, like
yeah,
like, that was kind of like
yeah.
So, need that wallet. Need that wallet right now.
Yeah. Good job, Allison.
I do need it right now.
That was my wife who was too tired to do the podcast, but is still awake and now grabbing her wallet.
Probably doing some online shopping.
Yeah, probably buying more shoes.
Pictures, if you want.
Pictures of shoes?
Pictures. You're not actually just buying pictures of shoes. What a waste of money that is.
So that's like a whole nother level of addiction.
Yeah, alright, so yeah, I'm taking Denver to win it all. I don't know why. It's probably not going to happen. That's probably a stupid pick.
Also, these picks were made very off the cuff and not held to.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't thinking this. I just wrote down picks to make Super Bowl 50. That's all. I just wrote that down and I had any choice to do it. But yeah, so we'll
you could have just not read it, I guess.
No, why?
Like you could like you say like, oh, I didn't have a choice. Like once you write it on your notes, it's there forever. You could have just like not. Like,
and then not did it?
Yeah.
No, well, I wanted to do it.
I don't know.
Why?
You said you didn't have a choice, so I was like...
I didn't have a choice. There was no choice.
So it's a choice.
So anyway, we don't know. Maybe we'll be back again throughout the playoffs to see what's to do with daily fantasy. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how it feels. Of course, we'll keep you updated on Twitter about it.
Yep.
Like always, rate, subscribe, download on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at FFBC_podcast. Tweet us all your questions and comments. Do whatever you want.
Tell your friends about us.
Yeah, you can tweet us anything. You don't got to tweet us stuff about not fantasy football related. Tweet us stuff about the Deadpool trailers that I can't stop talking about and can't stop watching because they're fucking awesome and you gotta see Deadpool.
You and Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool just like...
Have you seen the trailers?
What? Yeah.
They're fucking hilarious.
They're pretty cool.
And of course, do not forget, if you play Daily Fantasy, if you want to try Daily Fantasy, go to owntheplay.com. Use our promo code FFBC Podcast. Get you some,
or go to our website.
Or go to our website and click on the link.
It brings you there automatically.
Automatically, it brings you there. But either way, you sign up and didn't you get some free when you sign up? You get free $20.
Yeah, I did $25 and immediately got an extra $25.
Yeah,
like you can't sign out or cash out.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, but still,
but you get an extra $25 right away
to play
with.
So then, bam.
It's not like those. other ones where they say it and then you have to like earn so many points a certain amount of time. I haven't seen those extra $25 at all. So,
no, I got like $2 out of what I did
bogus,
when I signed up for
It's
DraftKings.
bogus.
It was like
It's
2 years ago. But anyway, yeah, 25 for 25. Boom, you're done
right away.
There it is. So so like I said, check out On The Play. Check us out on Twitter, and maybe we'll see you next week. Maybe we won't.
If not, we'll see you free agency or draft time.
Yeah, we'll see a couple. We'll get a couple podcasts in between now and draft day. So hopefully a good 2015 season, and
see you next season.
Yeah,
see you
whenever.
Yeah.
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 Whenever.
Yeah.